Hi, I'm Buddy Mary. Thank you so much, Dro TV, for having me. And check out my artwork on buddymary.co.uk. You can find me on Instagram at I am Buddy Mary 2 and I am Buddy Mary 3.
Welcome to My First Time, the show about your first time getting high on marijuana. I'm your host, Mike Freeman with Dro TV. And today I'd like to welcome our guest, Buddy Mary. How are you?
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Very well. Thank you. Thank you for coming on Dro TV today.
Having me.
You're welcome. You can find more of Buddy on Instagram at I am Buddy Mary 2. And we'll also plug I am Buddy Mary 3 because with all the shadow banning and censorship, we need to make sure that there's more ways to find you. So, Buddy, we appreciate you coming on Dro TV. Let our audience know where you're located and what you're doing in the cannabis community.
Well, I'm in West Wales, in the UK. We are our own country. We're not part of England, just by the way. And yeah, I'm a cannabis artist, painter, lino printer, content creator. So I'm basically ADHD. So if I fancy doing it, I'll give it a go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we definitely want to get more into your artwork and some of the content you create because it's fun. It's the art is inspiring, some of it, and some of it's just really super cool to look. So
Thank you.
Want to get more into that. But the show is my first time, Buddy. So let our audience know about the first time you got high.
Right, it's really hard now because I think it's been about 13 years. So I was late to come into it. I'm saying I'm late. So I came to it about 19. And I was pretty much a functioning alcoholic from like 16 to 19. And I was introduced to cannabis. And within 2 weeks, I stopped drinking, basically.
Wow.
I know without cannabis, I would have gone down a very, very dark path that I probably wouldn't be alive today, to be honest. I've got a very addictive personality. So she's definitely saved me. And then with everything else she's done, she saved me a few times over that in different ways. And saved my life in other ways. But back to the first time, I can't remember the actual first time I got stoned. It's just there's like a collection of memories that have been blobbed on together. So when I think of my first time, it's more of like a time period rather than that one singular time. But I was in university, or I'd just left university, still in university. I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I was going to get my student loan just to get my attendance mark, And I was hanging out with one of my friends, Emma and Evie. They were smokers. They were already smoking before me. I don't know how long before but that's how I was introduced to it. I think was through them. And I remember trying to keep up with them because I smoked tobacco anyway at the time. And I was trying to keep up with they're passing it around in the circle and it just keeps going. And I'm just there like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll keep taking it and like pass it on as soon as I can without getting rumbled. And I remember laying back on the bed and closing my eyes. And I was just, I don't know where I was. I was somewhere else. I was astral plane, I was somewhere else. My body was on the bed. I was comfortable and it was so blissful. And I could hear those two having their conversation way off in the background. And every now and again, I was like, just made a noise or word that sounded like I was still involved in the conversation, but I was fucking stoned out of my mind. And I remember not wanting them to know how stoned I was. I think another one of those like early times, I was working at Barfly, one of these cool music venues that when music really still happened, live venue was live music was happening like every night everywhere, and like South Wales had a really strong musical presence. It still does. But I'm out of the scene now, but I was we'd hang out after in someone's house. One of the staff, we'd go all bundle into someone's living room after we'd shut the bar up, and we'll all be blazing together. And again, I'd be trying to keep up with the big boys and just sort of sit there with that smile on my face. But one of the first people who taught me how to roll, I remember finally, like, they taught me how to roll, and I'd shake and I'd try and get it done and everything. And then a few years later, I think it was like 1.5 years, 2 years later, I was the one that'd be rolling for him, and I'd be looking at his dubs like, dude, what are you doing? I've learned something in the past 2 years, but what the fuck is that? Have you noticed that the oldest, like the veterans, what are they doing? They're smoking sleeping bags. Have you seen how saggy those things are?
Yeah,
They're terrible, and those triangle roaches. You're like, fuck. We're like, no, babe. What are you doing? Have you not tried to improve, or like, have you not learned anything the whole time you've been smoking? Yeah.
I like that. I've never heard the sleeping bag analogy before. That's a good one. I like that one.
But see, before I started smoking cannabis, when I'd make Rolly, I started off on cigarettes and then moved on to Rollies because I was a student and I couldn't afford cigarettes anymore. And I was rolling Rollies, and people would ask me if they were spliffs because they would always go cone shaped at the end. And yeah, they called them sleeping bags because I just couldn't. But obviously, I've perfected my skills since then, and I have quit tobacco. But yeah,
Awesome.
they're the sleeping bags.
That's
saggy
great.
baggy thing.
Take that hit. Take that hit. What are you smoking on? What type of bud flower do you have there?
It's OZK, OKZ. It's one of those 3 letters, and it starts with O. I always get them confused, but it's one of those variations. OKZ, OZK. It's bloody gassy and it's bloody grassy. It's really nice.
Awesome.
So, what are you smoking? What have you got at the moment?
I don't have anything right now because I can't host a show when I'm stoned. But
CBD maybe though.
Maybe. I mean, my quintessential. I end every show with a joint in my hand, but this is just to let you in, everyone inside. This is just a Delta 8 pre-rolled. I don't know that I have any intentions of smoking this. This is a prop. This is just for television.
I've got prop tubes somewhere, but they like with sage and stuff.
Yeah.
The actual tubes from the cupboard.
But I've been smoking some Don Lemon, and I've been smoking some wedding pie and some key lime mints.
Wedding cake CBD vape here, actually.
Ooh,
I haven't tried this one before, but it's proper cakey. Like proper cakey.
Yeah. I don't ingest enough CBD. I don't like smoking the CBD. I need to eat more of it. So that's something I gotta work on. Either make it or figure out the best place to get it.
Really hospitalized from shit CBD last year. So I'm really picky with the CBD here because CBD is legal. Well, CBD is legal here, but it's not regulated properly. It's a novelty food item, and novelty food items only need to be tested, lab tested every 2 years. And obviously with CBD, you can't fucking do that, because if you still got your CBD sat there after 2 years, what are you doing with your products? What are you doing? Like, why is no one buying it? What's wrong with you? Why haven't you tested in 2 years? It's just fucking gross. And a lot of the stuff that's coming over here seems to be from Europe, and they all spray and irradiate and stuff. It's really not fit for human consumption. So I ended up with some really toxic crap last year. So I'm very, very fussy. Luckily, the company that I get my CBD from is getting it from America. So I know it's from Oregon, and that state's got the old, more, the older CBD and cannabis regulations, haven't they? So I have, when I taste that, for a start, it tastes like cannabis. It's got terps in it. And with after 2 tokes, you got a greasy ring on it. Oh my God, she's delicious. But yeah, there are CBD products that I like, CBD flower, but there's only the odd brand that I will go for. Otherwise, it's all the sort of, I think this is from America. This is Orange County CBD. So yeah, this is an American product again.
It must be some Cali stuff if it's Orange County.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe it's just called, they put Cali on anything these days. It seems to be a buzzword over here.
That's true.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Buddy, you're born and raised in Wales?
I am a Welsh dragon through and through.
Excellent. I love it. So being a Welsh dragon, so CBD is legal, but it's not regulated. What about THC, cannabis? What's the
Well, in
laws?
2018, they legalized medicinal cannabis products, but it
Okay.
needs to be prescribed. The NHS has only prescribed 3 prescriptions since they changed the law, but yet there's like over 15,000 private prescriptions. It's basically become a whole class thing. Like if you've got the money to pay and play, have fun. But then the product you're getting is shit. Like there's so many reports of moldy product, bad product, just crap. Medical cannabis is bullshit. It seems almost, there's a theory that it's almost like self-sabotage from the inside, so they could turn around and say, well, it didn't work. Look, because there's even when stuff's found to be moldy and bad, they've just been relabeling it and selling it on again, and so it's not very good. So it just seems like if you have got the money to do it, get your prescription, put your weed in the pots, so it looks legal. But most people seem to be doing it to get the protection, to get the prescription for the protection. But yeah, we don't. It's really hard to get, as you said, there's 3 prescriptions on the NHS. Otherwise, you've got to pay to play, and I think sometimes it can be like £150 just to see the doctor, and then you've got to pay for your prescription on top. So as I said, it is a bit of a class thing. The UK government launched a report. What was it called? The Indian British Hemp Commission, something like that. When that report came, when it was, just say it's the same as like your LaGuardia report, where they're like trying to prove that cannabis is bad, and actually it did everything but, and was like, actually you should be decriminalizing this, guys, and using it to your advantage. Guess what happened? They buried it, and then guess what happened? Fucking GWP opened. The Theresa May's, our ex-prime minister's husband, like got a vested interest of the government. It's shady as tits. They're basically just going to be getting their little duckies in a row so they can suddenly flip it and change the law real quick. So they're already there to fill their private pockets, not the fucking people pockets, but their private pockets. They're going to be set up ready to make as much money as they personally can when they're ready to flip. That's what I think. Anyway, just for it's bullshit. So yeah, there's no real. It's because of this, then they've let them, because they've opened up the CBD market to novel and as a novelty. It just leaves us open to unregulated cowboys and stuff, biomass that's not fit for human consumption. Basically, it's really sad. We're being failed miserably. Yeah.
So the black market, then there's still a lot of shady stuff going on in the black market, because you would think.
We were going to self-regulate, so unless people are going to name and shame, but I think some people, it's people are miseducated, people get excited. Unfortunately, we are in the Instagram era, and we're influenced by influencers and shiny packages.
Sure.
So it's but then there's going to be the more informed consumers that they know what they want, they know what they're looking for, and people will vote. When it's the black market, we need to self-regulate and name and shame, yeah, basically. You've got to just be informed and know what you're looking for and know what you want. If you're lucky enough to know the grower and you can source your flower, back to where it comes, that's great. I've been very fortunate enough to make friends with a lot of very skilled growers who are who are on the Living Soil organic train. Nice. So we're getting all that natural goodness. I feel like this time next year, everyone's going to be talking about Living Soil organics, no till, all natural, as little shit and as little interference as possible. I think that's where it's going to go. Yeah.
Awesome. Exciting. Well, you're definitely very energetic about the scene, and it sounds like
I get so excited about cannabis because, as I said, she saved me in that instance. And then I've also been diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia. I've got ADHD. I'm autistic. If it wasn't for her, I would have died so many times over for different reasons. So when I talk about cannabis, it's literally my driving force. It's my I'm like I shake with it. It's a good thing it's on the phones on the cradle, because I'm vibrating right now talking to you. I get so passionate and so wound up talking about it that sometimes I think that ADHD autistic gets too excited, so I can't make my point eloquently. Like, she's tattooed on me. I changed my name to Buddy. I legally changed my name to Buddy. It's like, so yeah, I'm super passionate about cannabis.
That's awesome. Well, we need passionate people like yourself because
well, otherwise we won't get legalization. We won't get what we need. We won't get our freedom.
Yeah, we need all shapes, sizes, personalities, because somebody might gravitate towards you more than they would towards myself. Maybe they like
it takes all sorts. Take all sorts. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. What's the punishment in Wales if you're caught with a joint and then let's say a bag?
It's just totally going to depend on where you are in the UK, where you are in Wales, and down to the officer and whether they're having a bad day or not. I've been with friends in town where they just had a grinder with some residue and they got taken to the police station. Whereas unfortunately, a year and a half ago, I was arrested for cannabis cultivation, and somehow I managed to get away with nothing actually happening to me. I got a slap on the wrist, and even though I was in Cardiff, but maybe I'm now in West Wales now. So like, if I was being naughty again, and if the police did, maybe they won't be so, because they're not in a city, they're bored, they got more time. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in Cardiff, they got more important things to do. The reason the police were in my house anyway was because 6 yobs had broken into it with hot hammers, destroyed the flat. We don't know what they were there for. We were literally just moving in, can you believe? We'd only moved the plant like the night before. It was just about like, ugh, you know? And they were looking for something else to do with the previous tenants. But because of that, luckily we weren't there, but our new neighbours had phoned the police turned up, found what was there. So yeah. But somehow, there was a charity called Pathways working out of the police station, and they said that statistically women proven to commit crimes for different reasons than men. So basically, like, yeah, because I told them that they was all mine, there was nothing to do with my, like, I told them I'm a medical user, they're fucking beautiful plants. I'm full on a rant, like, you're on the wrong side of history. And I was pointing, we had pictures of the plants, and they were like, can you tell us what these are, please? I was like, yes, cannabis plants, and they're beautiful. I was like, they might be illegal, but look at those plants and tell me they're not beautiful. I get wound up. But yeah, and I just basically tell them that I'm not going to stop using cannabis, I'm not going to stop promoting cannabis, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, so they can just, it's not going to happen. Like, yeah. And then the charity came and like sorted up, so nothing happened from it in the end. But I'm very, very lucky, and maybe the fact that I am a white woman helped. Like, I don't know, you know, I did, but yeah, I was very lucky. So, but as I said, a friend of mine, when he was a teenager, got taken to the police station because he had a grinder with some debris in it. It's really down to whether the person is asswipe or whether they're bored, whether it's you don't know. It's a complete roll of the dice, I think. And if you're using the right language, because it's all about, you can't use it, you can't fight against it, because them's the breaks, isn't it? That's the law. But you can use their language against them. And if you are educated enough that you can use the right language against them, you know what to say, maybe you can, because you're not supposed to say, you know, people, if you see the movies, people say, oh, no comment, no comment. For some reason, they put my partner in the little jail cell bit in the van, but I was allowed to sit on the chair. But he was trying to mouth to me like, no comment. But I'd read the book, this book about from Outlaw, this really cool dude to check out. And I knew that you don't fucking say that, because they can take, what was the phrasing? It was like reason for I can't remember. It was very flowery legal jargon, and basically you don't, so they can take what they want from your silence and you say no comment. But yeah. So I don't know where it's going, that on a ramble there.
Wow, no worries. So it's suggested not to talk to the police, right? No comment?
Well, that's what people see. You see that in the movies and stuff like that. People saying it, or it's because they've been legally advised to, but you don't say, you're not supposed to say that. It can be really bad to say that. It doesn't help you unless you've been legally advised to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why would you want to talk to the police?
Oh no, this is when we were arrested.
Right. But I'm saying, like, okay, so when you're arrested, you don't want to talk
Mhm.
to the police, right?
I think what was I got from the book was that you want to give them as little as possible, or you don't need to answer to them, but because they're civil servants, they're supposed to be working for you, but their job is they're going to try and catch you out. I read this book like a year and a half ago now, so I've read a lot of different things since. My brain, I can't remember exactly, but what I do know is that should anything ever happen again, the first thing I'm going to say to them, and only things I'm really going to say is that I am not unlawfully in possession of medicinal cannabis products, because what's a medicinal cannabis product? What's a medicinal cannabis product?
Sure.
What to do? Like, so yeah, like I feel, but if you couldn't say I'm not illegally in possession, because it's against the, it's just using words, it's using language correctly. So luckily my mum was outside. Luckily my parents were a bit gaslighty when I was growing up, and the use of correct language has always been really important to me. So if I don't know what the word means, I'll have a look what it means and then try and
Sure.
and then yeah. So I will, and because I'm autistic, I'll take the meanings literally. So I think that kind of helps when I've been trying to understand this. But again, because it's super flowery language, it's unnecessarily flowery language. My ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia struggles with it a bit.
Hey everybody, I want to quickly mention Food Forest Abundance. Food Forest Abundance is a great way to create your own self-sustaining food forest and naturally occurring ecosystem that's commonly found in nature, but designed specifically for you. Through multiple layers of trees, shrubs, herbs, vines, rhizomes, mushrooms, and perennial vegetables, you can become your own supply chain without the typical maintenance required of a garden. From small spaces to large areas, both urban and suburban, Food Forest Abundance wants us to get back to our roots in nature by engaging with our food production in a meaningful way. For more information, click on the link in the description below and start your journey today. Okay, let's get back to today's episode.
No, because over here in the States, it's recommended to just not talk to the police, because anything you can say,
yeah,
they can take it and use it against you. So if you don't say anything,
yeah, but again, if you don't tell them anything, if they ask you a question and you say like no comment, or whatever, they can, or if you, it's like there's certain instances where they can take. I wish I had the book here, but I literally don't. I'm sure I had the word inference in it, but they could basically take what they will from your silence and apply. But yeah, so unless you've been legally advised to say no comment, I can't. If I can, I'll see if I can find the book and the passage, and I'll send it to you, because it's
What's the name of the book?
It's by Outlaw. He's this cannabis activist, and he gives away free weed to NHS workers, and he's trying to sue the government for unlawfully criminalizing cannabis. He's quite an interesting dude to know. I'll have to send you the link and the website, but he does this book as well. It was only £5, and all the money that he makes goes back into the work that he does, and he offers like free legal advice and stuff like this as well.
Yeah, I think I see he's Manchester based, is that correct?
Yeah,
okay.
You've got him, but he does a book that offers a lot of legal advice and stuff like that, and it's about because it basically tells you how the police should be operating, how they should be what's the word, approaching you, the things that they should be doing. Exactly, like there's certain things. I'm sure I could claim compensation because I was never given the proper paperwork before when I was sorry,
procedure. They have a specific way of
doing
and
if they're not ticking all these boxes, you can have your stuff thrown out. You can get compensation, because a lot of them aren't following the rules, and obviously they're just dick swinging clipboard wankers.
Yeah, one of the things that we try to talk about on this show, which is important here in the States, I'm not sure if it's the same in the UK, but you guys have jury trials, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how does that work? Because I've never been asked to do it. I don't think I'll ever be asked.
Okay.
How do you get on the jury here, my love? You get randomly selected and asked, and you can say no if you don't want to do it. No, you have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it unless it's like detrimentally affect
Oh,
your business.
yeah. So there we go. If it doesn't detrimentally affect your business, you have to go.
Okay.
You just get randomly selected. Do you have to be like taxpayer or something, or just?
I don't know because I just had a letter in post.
My partner's the only person who I know who's ever been asked to do it. So I don't.
Okay. No worries.
If
So
a letter ever came through the door, I'd literally be like, you want me?
there's a big movement in the States here. It's something we talk about a lot, is jury nullification. And what nullification means, you can nullify a law. So in the United States, marijuana is still illegal, but in Colorado, in California, so the states have nullified that law. They said, we don't care if the feds say it's illegal. In the state of California, in the state of Colorado, it's
people
legal.
voted for it.
So go right ahead. So in the States, if you're asked to be on a jury, you have to show up. That doesn't mean they pick you to be on the jury, but you have to show up. I'm sure some rich people can get out of it, but if you are on a jury, you have the right to declare, I don't think this person should be found guilty of a nonviolent crime, drug crimes, traffic violation. So if you are on the jury and 11 people think this guy should go to jail, all it takes is one person to say, I don't think this guy should go to jail.
Wow.
And then they can't convict this person, because you need all 12 people to convict. So the more people that know and understand that if they're ever on a jury, that they can not convict somebody, ruin their lives, send them to jail, take them away from their family, lose their jobs. The more people that understand we have this power on a jury, you can say not guilty. And the hope is the more people that do this, the less prosecution there'll be. They won't want to arrest people and charge them for these crimes.
Okay.
So that's the idea behind jury nullification is if there's no victim, there should be no crime. So why are we arresting people for nonviolent or, crimes that didn't hurt anybody?
It's a waste of time.
So let's get into some of your art, buddy. When did you start making art?
I guess I've always been creative and artistic and whatnot since I was a kid. I wanted to be a fashion designer when I was younger. But then as I grew up and that, sensible society conditioning crap came in and was like, well, there's no career in art, you need to do something. I don't know, I just stopped thinking about it and doing it, and I think other shit just happened, and I don't know, I sort of revisited it again then when I was 20, around the time I started smoking weed, like that first year, because those two people, Evie and Emma, who I'd mentioned before, they were art students, so I was around artists. I'm like, oh, I want to sit around and paint all day, this is awesome. And I started doing bits where I was waitressing and blah blah blah. Then Psycho Ed, like all this shit happened, and I just lost touch with it again for a while. And then in 2018, I tried psychedelics for the first time. So I hadn't touched anything. I was always happy with weed, hadn't tried party drugs, nothing, never was interested. Cannabis was just it for me. She's everything. So 2018, I dove deep in the deep end, and I spent 7 hours taking DMT. So it wasn't just like a little trip or anything. I full on went to the bit deep end and jumped straight in. And then there was a few, couple of like over that summer, then there was mushrooms, acid and stuff. I ended up having a little bit of an existential crisis / identity crisis. So because I couldn't understand what was going on in my head, I couldn't verbalize it. I turned to paper and artwork and thought maybe it'll just come out that way. And so I basically, then I found out I was dyslexic. Well, no, I knew that. It was the ADHD and autism and stuff. All of that masking, the neurotypical masking started to fall away. I discovered all of that. So again, a whole new identity. It's a whole new lens to look at your life with. And art really helped to get through all of that crap. And I was doing all of the stuff that was really personal to me, because as I said, I was trying to rediscover my identity, or things like that. And then because I was signed off on sick leave with my trigeminal neuralgia. It's also known as suicide disease. It's inflammation of the trigeminal nerve in your face. It's fucking horrendous. And I spent a whole year off on sick leave, and I was doing some artwork and stuff like that. And I thought, well, maybe I could try and I'm stuck like this can't be it, signed on benefits, laying in a bed dribbling, making artwork sometimes. So I thought maybe I could try and do college, because if I didn't, or if I couldn't do it, I could always drop out. It was just an art course. I'm not losing anything, 60 quid to fucking pay for the material, So I tried, and I really enjoyed it. It went really well. I'd had some teeth out, so my flare went away, so I wasn't as much pain. And then lockdown happened. And the only way I could get help from my fucking government as a student, they told me, was to drop out or get pregnant. And I'm not going to fucking pregnant. So I dropped out and made my own job. I made Buddy Mary.
Awesome.
I needed something that I could do, and I work around my neurodiversity, work around my chronic pain and stuff like that. And yeah, Buddy Mary was born.
Awesome. Great. Well, let everybody know where they can find more of Buddy Mary and your artwork.
Well, I've got a website, buddymary.co.uk. You can find me on Instagram at IamBuddyMary2 and IamBuddyMary3. I've also got Bad Buddy reviews, where I put the not so safe for Insta stuff on. So if they try to delete me again, I haven't got the naughty stuff on there. I can't get told off. I'm on TikTok. They've deleted that twice already, so it's @Buddy Mary. I'm on YouTube as well. I'm starting to dip my toes in the YouTube channel.
Excellent.
But I think it's just Buddy Mary on there. But you can find all my links on my link tree in the bio on my Instagram. Oh, and I'm on Facebook. Because they keep shutting me down, I'm trying to spread across all the socials. But yeah, my website's not going anywhere. buddymary.co.uk is where you can find all the good stuff.
Excellent. And all the links will be in the description below. So go give Buddy a follow, go subscribe to her on YouTube, check out some of her artwork as well. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go down there, hit that like button for Buddy, and leave a comment. Let her know what you thought of her episode today. I think she did a great job. Very exuberant personality. So thank you for bringing some positive vibrations to the episode today. And if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, because you don't want to miss more great guests like Buddy. So thanks again for coming on Dro TV.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
It's lovely to chat to you.
And as always, smoke them if you got them.